Hello there, I hope you're well. I'm just setting off from home. I'm in a bit of a hurry actually. It's currently around, well, it's approaching 3 p.m. on a Friday, and I've had this bonkers idea that because I was on Pocklington Canal, you might have seen the video last week, and because I've spotted a couple of decent camping spots on there, I've got the itch to go and camp on there tonight. So I've got home from work, thrown everything in the car, got everything ready I should say, thrown everything in the car, and I'm en route. The only question is Google reckons I'm going to get there for about 3:15. Now, the problem is, sun sets at 4 o'clock, so that means I've got to get the kayak out, get it set up. I brought the story with me. Get it set up, get on the water, and paddle up to that first lock, get out, get everything out, and then get set up. And it's going to be dark by the time I get there, I reckon. It's going to be a bit of a stretch, is this one. And great, and now I'm sat at some red lights. Anyway, by the time I've clapped my hands, and these lights have changed, whichever comes first, we'll be at Hagbridge. Alright, so it's about 3:15 now. The sun's going to set over in that direction. I've made it to Pocklington Canal. I've got all my rig here. It's just a case of getting set up. I'm on the water, and I've got to say, I think this counts as one of the quickest setup and launches I've ever done, which is quite remarkable considering how much stuff I've got with me, because there's firewood under my feet here because I'm planning on using the fire pit. Yeah, just over half an hour. Not bad, eh? Sun's setting over there. I'm going in that direction. Better get paddling. Now thankfully I am in the story kayak today, which is the fastest of my fleet. So we should make it where I want to be in good time. Let's go! Right, so for today's little excursion, I'm testing these Gull gloves. Every time I've been out recently, I've been testing a new pair of gloves. As I say, and these ones are by Gull. Difference with these is these have got a totally rubberized texture on the inside. Now they are a lot like some gloves I got for magnet fishing. They're also a lot like building site gloves. They're a little bit warmer than the magnet fishing ones, and they're totally rubberized with a kind of cloth interior. So considering the building site ones are about 3 or 4 quid and these are a tenner, I don't know. Let's see how these fare, eh? It's not often I do an evening launch. As you know, if you're a regular to this channel, I'm normally out early doors on a morning. But I've just had the urge to do something a bit different today. Because variety, let's face it, is the spice of life. Well, we're not forecast to have any rain. We're just supposed to get a little bit blustery at some point. But not too bad, it shouldn't be too bad. It's been a while since I've been in this boat, and you know, I've forgotten just how well it cuts through the water. Look at that! Wake! Woo! Well, wake, I say wake. Bow wave. Bow wave. Come on, Carl, use the correct terminology. It is a lovely night, mind. And it should be the perfect night to get out and do a little camp out, eh? Because that's the plan, is to get to the next lock. Well, the first lock, I should say, after Hagbridge, heading towards Pocklington, and camp out there for the night. And if you did see my last video, my last kayaking video, then you'll know that there is quite a high entry slash exit point for getting in and out of the boat. And this one is a little tippier. It's going to be interesting. What I had hoped to be doing tonight was doing this with oldest friend and getting him on the water for the first time with Nita and see how that works out. But unfortunately, his car's in at the garage. We were going to do it tomorrow night, I should say, which is why I've decided to do it tonight, because then I still have the rest of the weekend free to play with. All the leaves falling in the water. Autumn is definitely well and truly almost finished, actually. We got swans up ahead again. Tell you what, whenever you come on here, there's always swans. Are you going around that way here? Okay. Right, let me cut you up so that then you go around the other way. Go on. There you go. Another one gone. Just got to get this one now. There she goes. And after that, a little bit of drama. I can actually see the lock up ahead, which is really good news, because you might not be able to tell from the camera, but it is starting to turn. Oh, that's a bit of a... No, it's not. It's only soft. Right. And here's that high mooring, which is going to be fun. And now the fun bit, because this boat is a lot tippier than when I came out last week in the Gummatex. Same principle, feet on either side of the boat. Not bad for an old fart, eh? Incidentally, it's Friday today, and I was 53 on Monday. I think this is a bit of a belated birthday treat. Right, we'll leave the boat there for a second. It's all tied up. It's tied to the paddle leash and the mooring lines, and we'll just go and quickly check it out up here. The only snag with this one is it's a bit of a trek to kite your gear. But the great thing is, there's this bridge here that goes across the lock. Picnic benches, a little bit of shelter. There is a farmhouse or something over there, but if I'm pitched in here somewhere, no one will know. There's a fence there. What does that say? Private. No public access or right of way. There's a little drain there, a land drain. Oh, look at the moon over there. I don't know whether this camera will not do this justice, but the moon looks really glorious just peeking over the horizon there. A lot of moles around, I've noticed. So yeah, you might not be able to see it because it's coming in dark, but the boat's down there. You know, could even pitch the tent on here. Because wouldn't that be a lovely view to wake up to? Okay, let's get it out of the water first, then make decisions. I'm not quite sure how much of me you can see because it's not dark, but it's getting there. I haven't got long left. We've got all the gear over onto that picnic table, and what I'm wondering now is, where shall I put the tent? Gotta admit, I do quite like the idea of having a view over the canal, over that way. Right, so I'm going to set it up here because there's a picnic table there, and then everything's to hand, and also there's a bush there that obscures me from the farmhouse. The tent's set up. Now, this is a bit of a first tonight. First time I've ever had this tent out, first time I've ever set it up, and as you can imagine, things never are quite easy. The guy lines were attached, all those kind of things. I've had to do all that pretty much in the dark. There are a couple of guy lines missing too. And it's an MFH camo tent, low profile. I'll show you it in the morning when the light's better. I've got the Dutch Army sleeping bag inside. I'll show you all this tomorrow, but just wanted to briefly talk through it. So there's the Dutch Army sleeping bag. I'm putting a liner in tonight. I'm going to try sleeping naked in the bag tonight, because I've been reading and listening to YouTube, and everybody's saying you should be in the bag naked to get the full benefit from the bag. And that Dutch Army bag's supposed to be, you know, up there as one of the best, like down to -20. It's not going to be that cold tonight. Currently about 12 degrees. So, but we'll see. I mean, it will drop a bit, but we'll see. So I'm going to give that a go. I've got some thermal stuff if I feel I need to warm up. So yeah, I've got a mat, I've got the termite mat, I've also got the British Army Gore-Tex bivvy bag, and inside that there's some foam matting. I used that earlier on in the year as a base layer to insulate me from the ground, and I found it very effective. So I've got that as the base layer, the termite mat, there's the Dutch Army bag, and then a liner, and I've also got my show pillow just for a bit of extra comfort. The termite mat does have a built-in pillow, I just like that bit extra. Anyway, it's about just gone 5 now, or coming up to 5, one of the two. Got this light in my eye, I can't see it. It's about 5-ish, getting a bit peckish. So on the menu tonight, we've got chili con carne and mash. And then in this little tub there's some hot chocolate, some coffee for the morning, trio bars, and a couple of cereal bars. We're not going to starve tonight. So what I've done is I've mixed the mash in with the chili to create one of my famous chili slops. It might not look pretty, but it'll hit the spot. Trio! Do you remember the adverts? Are you old enough to remember the adverts? Let me know in the comments if you are. And they still taste the same. It's time to get a bit of caveman TV on the go. I had a bit of kindling at home that I've had for quite some time. And also some of these chimney log things. So I thought I might as well bring it out, use it, considering this fire pit is absolutely fabulous. And there's no damage to the ground or anything. Kind of nice to see that going, isn't it? Sounds awesome, doesn't it? Quite a bit of heat coming from that now, which is nice. Although there are some indicators that that wind might be starting to pick up. Yeah, you see that, don't you? It is supposed to get blustery tomorrow, which is why I came out tonight as well. Tomorrow and Sunday are supposed to be worse. Time will tell. But in the meantime, I'm just going to enjoy this for a little while longer. You know how your brain plays tricks with you? Well, mine's done that to me tonight. Not about the fire, but for some reason I've got it into my head that if I leave the boat on the floor, field mice or whatever, some little small rodent will chew it and deflate it and I'll be able to get back tomorrow. So what I've done is I've tied it off the floor to the picnic table, and there's all the seats and all the boat gubbins like the pump and stuff and the boat bag underneath there. So the advantage to that is it does actually keep all of the seat and stuff dry if it does happen to rain. It's not likely to, it's not forecast to I should say, but that doesn't mean it's not possible. So yeah, I have just loosely tied this to the table using the ropes, using my mooring ropes, and all my stuff is there outside my tent now, and I'm gonna jump in. This is dying down. Let's have a look at the time, shall we? It's early. There you go, 20 to 8. I've got some films on my phone, so I'm gonna get in there right at about 8 o'clock at night, and I'm in my sleeping bag. I'm going to watch a few videos on my phone until I fall asleep, and I'll see you in the morning. Good morning, inflatable fans, wild campers and outdoor adventurers. Kettle's on, ready to make some coffee. The kayak is back down there by the mooring. The sun has just come up, and I'm just packing everything down ready to go. I've got rid of the ash out of the fire pit. I've scattered that amongst the undergrowth so that it'll actually feed it. It was all just wood ash, so no problems there. I think this tent did alright as well. I quite like the fact it has quite a good camouflage look for this time of year. I think it suits the this time of year quite well. Definitely not a four-season tent by any stretch of the imagination. I'm going to do a full review on this. First time I set it up last night. Let me show you this sleep setup I had inside the tent. Okay, so I was using the Dutch Army sleeping bag, the M90. Love it, so warm and toasty. I had that inside the British Army Gore-Tex bivvy bag. Underneath the Gore-Tex bivvy bag, inside it, there is a layer of foam matting just to provide some insulation. And then I was on the termite mat. I think you've seen my video on what I do to make this pillow more comfortable. But yes, I had the show pillow for that bit of extra lift. And I have to say, I was pretty toasty. I actually didn't use the Gore-Tex bivvy bag until early hours of the morning, but I thought I'd climb in it just to see if it made a difference. And it did. It was a lot warmer, but I was warm enough in this, and I had nothing on, just pants. So yeah, very good. This M90 sleeping bag is pretty good. Got down to about 8 degrees, so not too cold, but it was warm. I was toasty warm. And then, as I say, I climbed into the bivvy bag, and that made even more difference. It just sealed the heat in. Really good. You can see what I mean about this tent. Look at the ventilation there. And that's the same on both sides, all around the base. So yeah, wouldn't be a good winter tent in any stretch of the imagination because a strong wind will blow right through there. On the plus side, even though this is single skin, no condensation. So I like that. I've got to say though, getting in and out of this tent is not a graceful procedure at all because it is low. I'll show you what I mean. It's not the easiest. Having lazy coffee this morning. I'm going to put 2 of these in. These in white. I find them a bit weak if I'm honest. Breakfast. I did experience that thing last night where you feel anxious about being out on your own somewhere, especially unfamiliar territory. But there was nowhere I could go. It's not like I could pack up and go home. I couldn't go paddling in the dark. That mooring is too high to be risking getting in. And what would happen if the worst happened, if I fell in? So yeah, it's one of those things where you're definitely stuck somewhere until the next day. So it is a weird feeling, that wilderness anxiety thing. I think that's what they call it. Just that feeling of being completely on your own and isolated. But it soon passes when you realise it's just animals and stuff you can hear, and your brain playing tricks on you. It really is quite remote. As I say, there's a farmhouse over there, but this is a canal. They'll be used to seeing people pottering about. Stupid brain. If there's one thing I've learned about this Story kayak on this trip, it sure as hell can take a load. Right, okay, so this is the Story one-person drop-stitch kayak, also known now because it's rebranded as the Story Highline. It's 350 centimetres across, in other words 3.5 metres. That big bag there, that's a 100 litre deployment Bergen ex-army. That is the bag that the kayak comes in. There's actually nothing under that little recess there. You've got 2 dry bags on the front, and then in the underneath storage compartment, firewood. Yeah, that is really impressive. Right, now for the fun bit again. Getting back in. Oh God, I'm sat on the back of the seat. Get up. There we go. I guess we better pick you up. Let's paddle. Gotta say, I really enjoyed that little trip. It did feel like a proper little adventure because it was so impromptu and because I was racing against the clock to get here and get set up. Yeah, that was good fun. I think I'm going to turn the camera around now and put it on hyperlapse for the trip back. Right, so we've landed. As I said, really enjoyed this little adventure. I hope you have too. If you have, please give the video a thumbs up. you don't like it, give the video a thumbs down. You know, it's up to you. If you like what I'm doing on the channel, if you hit subscribe and that bell notification, it costs you nothing, which is A's. All it means is when you open up YouTube, you get a notification whenever I've uploaded another video. And I know you wouldn't want to miss out. So, right, okay, thank you so much for watching. You take care of yourself. I'll see you soon.